Guys, I am so lucky to be sitting here today with Mr. Glen Campbell at the Asylum Studios. He is Department Head of Visual Effects. Glen, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm super excited to be here at this awesome building. Can you tell us a bit more about the Asylum Studios and what you guys do?
Well, the Asylum is a motion picture studio. They've been around for about 20 years, plus or minus, and they make movies. When they originally started, they used to make horror films and, comedies, that sort of thing. And they sort of fell into the niche of making what we call mockbusters, science fiction horror films that sort of echo, distant echoes of other movies that other studios are making, but with our own spin. We never copy the movies exactly because we don't get the scripts. We just make similar themed concepts. They're doing a giant robot movie, we do a giant robot movie. They got a giant shark, we do a giant shark. Ours does something completely different with a completely different storyline, but they echo each other. That's about the best way to refer to it. And the interesting thing about the Asylum is that they make a very wide gamut of pictures. People always assume they just make Sharknadoes, for example, but actually they make horror films. They do Animal House type comedies, sort of like Celebrity Sex Tape, that sort of thing. They do religious films. They do the Kirk Cameron kind of Left Behind sort of films. They've done musicals. They actually did a Western. One of my favorite Asylum films was a Western. Unfortunately, it didn't do very well, but it was an actual, honest-to-goodness, straight Western. It didn't have monsters, zombies, robots. It was just a Western. It was a good film.
What does the head of visual effects do? Can you give us like a typical workday?
Well, basically, when we get a script, we do a breakdown on it, and we essentially go through the script and read every bit of description of a scene to figure out what can be done practically, what can be done live, what can be done in post. And unfortunately, with the kind of schedules we have and the kind of budgets we have, we do a lot of post. We fix a lot of things. So essentially, we go through the script and I break it down to, this is a level 1. This has to be in the show. It doesn't matter how hard it is, doesn't matter how expensive it is. You cannot tell the story without this shot. So that becomes a level 1. Then I break it down to level 2, which is these shots should be in the show. They add production value, they would just look cool. If we can afford it and we have the time, they should be there. Then level 3 are shots that I throw out. And I go, look, you don't need 5 shots to tell this story. We can do it in 2, we can do it in 3. So level 3s become, you need to get rid of these because we're over schedule and over budget. The only reason this shot's in there is because you thought it would look cool. The only people who are going to miss it is your mom because you told her you wrote it. Other than that, that's how I break down the script. And we give it back to the director. He cries, tries to figure out how many shots, because you're asking him to kill his kids. We usually have anywhere from 75 shots is average, 100 shots for a show that's kind of big, like we're doing Atlantic Rim, that's got 100 shots. Sharknadoes automatically have 300.
So I know you've been having a lot of fun working on a whole bunch of visual effects for Sharknado. Can you tell me which one was your favorite?
I think my favorite shot was one of the very first ones from Sharknado 1, where they actually went out on a boat. They took the cast and crew out to sea, and everybody got seasick. Instantly. So they went, okay, that's not going to work. Why don't we just put the boat in the dock, and we'll put in the water in post? So again, a lot of work for us, but ultimately it worked out really well. So this is one of my favorite shots. This is a shot where an actor is being chewed by a shark, being sucked up like a piece of spaghetti, and what they did was they had the actor on the boat in the dock at Marina del Rey, and he pushed himself backwards as though he's being pulled into the shark's mouth. So on the left, there's the real guy. On the right, that's the guy being eaten. So what we had to do, we went out to Catalina, we shot the ocean, got a little ocean plate. Then we had to rotoscope, trace the guy and the boat, and essentially put in all our splashes and our stormy weather. Then we had to put our CG shark in, so there's a CG shark with CG water and CG blood. Then we had to isolate the guy because the shark had to be behind the platform but in front of the guy, and all the stormy weather had to go in front of the cables. This is every CG element of the shark, the guy, the blood, the roto, and then we put the boat back in, and we shake the camera, and that's the shot. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that shot. Aaron Whitland was the one who did the animation of the shark, but I did all the rotoing and compositing on it, and it just turned out really well. We were just really happy with it.
Well, I mean, what can I say? Like, that is the epitome of everything you guys do. Who would have guessed that the actor was moving backwards into the shark's mouth as opposed to being dragged? So cool.
I have one other shot. Show you this one. This one was for a movie called Flight World War II. It was a lot of fun because, again, it involved a lot of effects work that hopefully people don't realize they're seeing. So if you look on the left, you will see the actor is on wires. He's going to be yanked out of the plane. A bomb has hit the plane. It's exploded. A missile has hit the plane, and he's going to get yanked out. So he actually got yanked by the cable and landed on a pad. So this is what we had to do to make that happen. So the first thing we did was we had the actor. He got yanked out, and we had to get rid of him because he's not supposed to land on the pad. He has to get sucked out by the wind stream. So first thing we had to do was get rid of the guy landing on the pad. So we popped him out. Then we took the one frame of him flying and we put it in Photoshop, and then we animated it so that it looked like he got caught in the wind stream.
This is so cool.
So the next, you see the guy get popped out. That's real. Now he's a still frame, and off he goes. Then we took our fire elements and we put our big fireball in, and this is the actual shot.
How long would it take to put together just that shot with all the elements together?
This shot took about a week.
A week for that one shot.
One shot. We get on the average anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days to do a shot. This one, because it was particularly complex, took about a week.
So it's just like, it's really so much work just to make things that you see on screen look amazing. You guys do such a good job.
It's totally worth it. I mean, it's the kind of thing where that's the kind of shot that's fun. Because, yeah, people know he's not really getting sucked out of a plane, but it's the moment where they go, oh man, sucks to be him, and that's all that matters. They're in the moment of the story.
My final question to you. What would you do if you weren't a visual effects editor?
This was my dream job since I was a kid. I was that nerd that sat back and was obnoxious. You know how they do that? That's not really real. That's a miniature. I would read Famous Monsters and American Cinematographer. And whenever they had articles about visual effects, I would just soak up everything and try to absorb it because I wanted to learn how to do this. It took me a while because I used to just watch this. I just wanted to know how it was being done. You know, I'd watch a Sinbad movie with Harryhouse, and then there'd be some dragon flying or a cyclops, and I'd go, it's not a guy in a suit. What is that? How are they doing that? I just wanted to know. And then when I found out about stop motion and rear projection and compositing, I went, that is cool. And then one day it went, hang on, that's a job. This guy gets up every morning and gets paid to do this. I want that job. So I learned everything I could. And in 1977, Star Wars came out. And every studio went bananas and said, oh my God, we need to make a ripoff of this. We need nerds that know how to do this stuff. And there I was, right place at the right time.
Wow, that is so awesome. And aren't we thankful that that happened? Because, I mean, you're preaching to the geek choir here. This is the stuff we love. So, Glenn, thank you so much for chatting with us today and teaching us all about visual effects. It's been a very good learning experience for me anyway. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. Back to you.